So, welcome back to our discussion about getting eyes to see God. Bhagavata Puran very interestingly describes what happens in Kali Yuga. What are the characteristics of Kali Yuga? Very interestingly, it explains Prayen alpayushah sabya kalau asmin yuge janaha mandaha sumandamatayoho mandabhagyahi upadritaha. So beautiful verse which describes the characteristics of Kali Yuga. What it says? Prayena alpayushah sabhyah. Prayena alpa ayushah. So in Kali Yuga, people will have short life. Alpa ayushah. How is it? Because when compared to Kali Yuga, all of us are aware there are 4 yugas. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga. In Satya Yuga, people would live for 1 lakh years. That is why we hear like Hiranyakashipu, he performed tapasya for 10,000 years. Meaning, he had 1 lakh years in his hand. So in Treta Yuga, people would live for 10,000 years. And in Dwapara Yuga, people would live for 1,000 years. And in Kali Yuga, it is 100 years. But nowadays it has become much lesser, hardly 60 to 70 years. So the point is, as the time passes by, everything in this world becomes decayed, decomposed or becomes weaker. I tell generally a funny story. In Satya Yuga, people were completely devoted to God. So they would say, whatever I have, it belongs to God. And whatever they had, actually they literally gave to God. And as the time passed by, the consciousness, the inspiration also becomes weaker and weaker. So in Treta Yuga, people would say, everything I have actually belongs to God, but I can't give full. So what will I do? So they started drawing one line and they would put the money on the top. And whatever falls on the right side, it is for God, and whatever falls on the left side, it is for me. And next, Dwapara Yuga, what people started doing? They started writing a small circle and they would throw the money up in the air, and whatever falls inside the circle is for God and remaining is for me. And what does people in Kali Yuga do? In Kali Yuga also people take the money and throw up in the air and they say whatever God can catch, it is for God, and whatever falls down, it is for me. Actually it is a funny story, it is not in real, but actually gives a very interesting message from this. So let us come back to our shloka from Bhagavata Purana, which says the characteristic of the Kali Yuga. Prayena alpa ayushah sabhyah. Prayena alpa ayushah. In Kali Yuga, people live short life. Alpa ayushah sabhyah. Kalau asmin yuge janaha. In the Kali Yuga jana, the people in Kali Yuga, they live short life. And what will be their mood? Mandaha sumandamatayoho mandabhagyahi upadritaha. They are mandaha, lazy. Hope all of you agree with me. It is not generalized. Most of the people, most of the time, they feel kind of laziness. They don't feel inspired to get up and do something and achieve something. So laziness conquers us. Then there is Sumanda Matayaha. And now somebody somehow come out of laziness and they want to achieve something and they try to take guidance from others. But what happens? They are misguided. And especially in India, even if you go and ask someone, sir, I want to go to this post office, can you please tell me the path? And they say, just go straight and right turn. And when you go there, actually you don't find the post office. So people in this country, they don't want to say that I don't know. So when we don't know, there is no problem in saying that I don't know. So people generally misguide. And nowadays, especially in the name of spirituality, there are so many people who are actually misguiding. They claim themselves to be God and they try to give and take lot of money from people. So this is also not correct, and that is the characteristic of Kali Yuga. So we need to be very careful and be aware of all these things. Mandaha sumandamatayoho mandabhagyahi. And even if they are guided properly, many times they become mandabhagya, unlucky, and upadritaha. And because of all these things, they are always disturbed. Let me tell you a story. One time, even now, there are so many saintly people, they give up their family, house, money, wealth, everything, and they go to Himalayas or some forest and they do tapasya. And they don't want to work and waste, they feel they are wasting time doing all these things. They just want to understand the reality of life. They want to get connected to God. So they give up everything and they do tapasya. And yes, because we have this body and this body has to be maintained, so we have to eat. So for eating, what do? They don't even waste their time even in cooking. So they have a lot of wisdom, lot of knowledge, but they don't want to waste their time by cooking, getting groceries from shops, standing in the queue, going to ATM, taking money, all these things they don't want to do, get into all this janjat. So they want to just do tapasya, and for these basic needs, they would go and beg. And different saintly people, they have different rules. So some saints, they follow, I will go and beg in 5 houses, and whatever I get, I will eat. If I don't get anything from these 5 houses, I will not eat anything. That day they will fast. But they don't go and beg and take something from the house and come just like that. They also give them back. What do they give? They give their wisdom, the spiritual knowledge. So one day, one saint, he came for begging to the city, and he asked in one of the house. He knocked. Dear mother, oh mother, are you there? Can you please give me something? I am hungry. And the lady inside, she was disturbed, very disturbed. And she comes, she says, hey, Sadhu, just get lost. I am not interested to give you anything. And looking at the lady, Sadhu understood that she is disturbed. I should teach her a lesson. So again he called out, mother, please give me something. Mother, please give me something. And this lady got wild. She said, I told you, I am not going to give you anything. Just get lost. And Sadhu is known for his patience and endurance. So Sadhu continued, my dear mother, please give me something. And the lady said, you want something? Wait. And she goes inside the kitchen and she finds there were ash. After cooking, the left out ash, she got that. And very angrily, very disturbed, she comes to the Sadhu and said, you wanted something? Take this. And she gives ash. Tak. And Sadhu accepts that ash and he says, thank you very much, and I'll come again. And he smiles. Here, the lady purposefully wanted to humiliate this Sadhu. Even after humiliating the Sadhu, he accepts that ash and he thanks her and he smiles at her and he says again he wants to come tomorrow. And the lady was taken aback. And lady says, oh Sadhu Maharaj, what happened to you? Have you gone nuts? I am trying to humiliate you. I am trying to give you ash and you are smiling and you want to come again? Have you gone nuts? What happened to you? Then Sadhu makes a profound statement. Sadhu says, my dear lady, till now you never had a habit of giving anything. Today you gave ash, tomorrow you may give some cash. So such a traumatic, intense situation, Sadhu converted it into a humorous situation and the heart of the lady got transformed. So this is the characteristic of the Kali Yuga people. What are that? Mandaha sumandamatayoho mandabhagyahi upadritaha. So Vyasadeva, a literary incarnation of God, he recorded all the Vedas in writing 5,000 years ago. for the benefit of people in Kali Yuga. So in Kali Yuga, people have very less memory. So the Vedas are also called as Shrutis, or knowledge received through oral reception. So earlier days, there were no literatures. Then how people would get knowledge? They would just hear and remember everything. That is why they were known as Shrutidhar. They would just hear once and remember. They had the capacity to hold information just like that. But in Kali Yuga, we are not Shrutidhars. We are Likdhars, Padhars, meaning we have to write to remember, we have to read to remember. And not once, again and again we have to read and write to remember. So the means of Vedic knowledge is to accept an authority and learn the truth by inquiring submissively. So Krishna explains that to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, Tadviddi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. So Tadviddi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. So you need to submissively inquire and serve the Guru and get knowledge from him. The Vedas offer deep insight into many important topics like who am I, where have I come from, where will I go after death, what is the purpose of my existence, who is God, how am I related to God, and all these things. So Krishna explains, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto mattah smritir jnanam apohanam cha vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyah vedantakrit vedavit eva chaham. He says, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto mattah smritir jnanam apohanam cha. So he says, I live in the heart of every individual person and I give them three things. What he says? Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto mattah smritir jnanam apohanam cha. I give you knowledge, remembrance and also forgetfulness. In our life, there are so many things we should also forget. So this forgetfulness, knowledge, remembrance, everything is also coming from God. So can we see God? Yes, we can see God through ears, not by eyes. By hearing, we can see God. So thank you very much.